before silver bullets and full moons, there was one name whispered in terror, Le Bedu Gévaudan. Welcome to Paranomenon. I'm Devin.
And I'm Caden. We're a couple paranormal enthusiasts who love digging into the strange, the spooky, and the stories that make you question what's real.
Every week we'll explore something different. Hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, urban legends, you name it. Basically, if it's unexplained or a little creepy, it's fair game.
Well, it's our first episode, official episode of our podcast, and I'm super, super excited.
Wait, did we even say the name of the podcast yet?
Yeah, you said welcome to
Okay, I did.
Paranormal.
I just want to make sure it's clear that our listeners know that they're listening to Paranomenon right now.
You're listening to Paranormal right now.
So, like we said, I'm Devin. This is Caden. We happen to be married. Just an introduction to ourselves. So do you want to tell them how we met?
Yeah, why don't you start? I'm interested to hear your interpretation.
But just in case, I just want to make sure you remember how we met.
I do remember how we met
So we met at work. We used to work at a call center and nobody wanted to sit next to me.
because you were the smelly kid.
Yeah, because I like to create problems. But Caden, you, my wife, or my future wife at that point, you sat next to me and we just could not stop talking.
It was really, surprising because I thought I was gonna hate him, but he kinda grew on me.
Yeah, I didn't like you at all when I first met you, but then when you sat next to me, I just I got obsessed and I just couldn't stop talking to you.
He really couldn't stop talking. We got in trouble because he talked to me so much.
And the rest is history. We've known each other for about, was it 12 or 13 years?
I don't know, Devin, is it 12 or is it 13 years? This is how you get yourself in trouble by, suggesting that we tell our love story on our first episode of our podcast to see how much you remember.
I don't think you remember if it was
It's
12 or
been
13.
13 years.
13 years
Going
now?
on 13 years. It'll be
See, I'm
13.
always 1 year, lower than it is because time passes,
So
and
quick.
I forget that time passes.
We've been married about 10 years. So, overall, though, super excited. Since this is our very first episode, we wanted to start with something really classic, just to kind of ease into the vibe. So, we're doing a story that's part myth, it's part mystery, and it's a little part monster, if you will.
I'll be taking you through the history of werewolves and one of the most terrifying real-life cases that inspired the legend, the Beast of Gévaudan, a creature that terrorized France in the 1700s and left people wondering, was it a wolf, a hyena, a lion, or a man, or something else entirely, but probably a huge wolf? So, I've heard I've seen a lot of werewolf movies in my day, and until I actually heard the story of the Beast of Gévaudan, I did not know how many werewolf movies referred to the Beast of Gévaudan.
Really?
Yeah, like, The Wolfman, Howling, Werewolf in London, they all bring up the Beast of Gévaudan.
Now that you mention it, I never knew who the Beast of Gévaudan was either. I still don't know much about him, gonna learn today, but, uh, there is, like, a lot of overlapping themes, and I think I've heard the name before, so, yeah, that's exciting.
Okay, so I'm gonna dive right into, a brief introduction into werewolf history. and we'll get to that story shortly. So, what is lycanthropy? First off, some people pronounce it
Well, I would say lycanthropy.
lycanthropy. You say lycanthropy, but since you've got me to watch Vampire Diaries so much, they say lycanthropy. So I'm now in the habit of saying lycanthropy.
That's a proper education right there, The Vampire Diaries.
Yes, that is where I got all my information was Stefan and Damon the vampires.
Well, wouldn't your education be coming from Klaus? You're Team Klaus, for sure.
I love Klaus.
You love Klaus.
Okay, so lycanthropy is where you're insane and think you can turn into a wolf, or they think you're insane and you actually transform into a wolf and scare the shit out of your therapist and probably murder them. Still wouldn't be as scary as some of my therapist visits.
I can vouch for that.
So lycos means wolf and anthropos means human. So lycanthropy means wolf man. It's associated with King Lycaon, who tested Zeus by serving him human flesh. Apparently, Zeus doesn't like to eat humans.
I think that's what are the
The
Titans,
vegans that don't eat humans,
the vegans don't eat humans. No, the Titans eat humans. That's a Titan thing.
do they?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive, like, Titans eat humans. I don't know, somebody fact check me on that, put it in the comments. Do Titans eat humans? We'll have to do an episode over Titans. That's paranormal, right?
I'm not doing an episode
No?
on
I'll
Titans.
do it.
We're not gonna go down the rabbit hole of mythology. There's too much.
He says that, but
Zeus doesn't like to eat humans, apparently, which is surprising for me, but not for you because you're an expert on mythology. As punishment, he destroyed King Lycaon's home and turned him into a wolf. In some stories, the human flesh was that of a baby.
oh,
A baby was the human flesh.
dead babies.
Yeah, not well, I mean, obviously they're dead.
I hope they're dead.
Okay.
And not live babies, could you imagine that?
I mean, if it was a living baby, it'd be crying, and that would be a dead giveaway that to Zeus that he's about to eat a human. So that wouldn't work in King Lycaon's favor. So half the world already believed in werewolves, even though they hadn't heard of King Lycaon. Like dragons and vampires, every culture had stories about werewolves, even though communication between these civilizations didn't really happen. So there must be some truth to it. It kind of reminds me of how humans have the uncanny valley where we see something humanoid, like a badly made robot or poor animation, like that movie, The Polar Express.
Hey, now. That is a
and it
classic.
and it sets off that instinct. I believe we have that instinct because there must have been a predator that we had to be aware of that could shapeshift into us poorly, kinda like a skinwalker would.
Oh my gosh. You just said it.
We just don't say the W word.
Ah.
So have you ever seen somebody that looks like they, like, instantly trigger your uncanny valley because they don't look like real people?
Yeah.
Like somebody that ugly?
Well, and it's not even, like, ugly necessarily, like, sometimes it's, like, just oddly beautiful. Like Cillian Murphy, for example, you've been watching a lot of Peaky Blinders lately, so that's kinda why I thought of him, but, like,
Yeah.
he is just such an unusual looking human. He's gorgeous, um, but in the most just alarming way, like, he just kinda makes you like, "Are you real? Are you real?"
He, he definitely has a weird look to his face, but we were watching that documentary on, the Bell Witch,
Yeah.
and that guy looked animated, like, he looked
The
like
guy in the dog
yeah,
the
he looked like a PlayStation 1 character.
like, something out of Tomb Raider?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first Tomb Raider.
He had a very,
Polygon face.
yeah, he had a very, like, a very angular face, very factual, great great storyteller, but yeah, he was a unique looking human. I wouldn't even say ugly, just different. Um,
Nah, I'll say the word ugly. I don't care. People know I'll call anybody ugly. If even if they're pretty, I call them ugly because I'm still jealous. So, when a werewolf was cursed by a god, they usually have to stay a werewolf for like 7 or 8 years. And during that time, they have to abstain from eating humans.
that's like such an oddly specific amount of time.
Well, seven's in a lot of different,
A 7 is, I guess, yeah, you hear 7 a lot.
yeah. So, I don't know why. Maybe we'll figure that out one day going through these stories. Apparently, it's really hard not to eat people as a werewolf. And if you eat humans, you stay a wolf. So I guess once you eat one person, you can't stop. That's me and Oreos. Like I have one Oreo and I can't stop, and then the whole package is gone. See, that's why I don't eat people because then
That's why.
I have an addicted personality, and I know I would I wouldn't stop. Once you pop, you don't stop. You just can't have one.
Once you pop, you can't stop Pringles, the Forbidden Flesh edition.
So So the werewolf trials lasted in Europe from 1527 to 1725, and the fanaticism made its way to the colonies and became the Salem witch trials that lasted 1692 to 1693. And I think it's crazy that for hundreds of years, the Europeans didn't see anything wrong with this shit and it just died out like a fad and people lost interest. But in Salem, after 1 year, they were like, guys, this is kind of messed up and a little immature. Or, my bad, I think we got a little carried away and owe some people an apology.
It's like, "Greg, I am really sorry that I got your wife burnt at the stake. She was just a bitch."
I wished I lived during the time so I could accuse people I don't like of being witches. I can imagine some guy getting rejected by a woman and immediately accusing her of being a witch. I would accuse you and your sister of being a witch just because I'm petty and you make me mop the floor and I don't feel like helping her move next weekend. I just don't like chores at all.
Okay, well, to be fair, you're not a walk in the park either, sir. You eat all my snacks, all my cookies, all my ice cream, all
Okay,
my
okay, I
snacks.
fucking get it. Oh my god, I just used
You
my one
did.
F
You
word.
used your one
I
F-bomb.
can only say guys, I can only say the F word once in this podcast for some stupid reason. I almost
You
said
almost said it again.
I almost said it again. I get why okay, back to the topic.
Uh-huh.
Back to the topic. I get why someone would wanna be a witch. Who wouldn't want power over the forces of nature? But I couldn't understand the appeal of becoming a wolf. Like, it kinda sounds a little lame until you think there was a lot of famine and cold weather around the time of the werewolf trials. If you could have the power to turn into a masterful hunter at night and be kept warm while doing it, you would be able to keep your family fed. Now, this one werewolf who used a wolfskin belt from the devil had his skin ripped away, arms and legs broken, and then he was decapitated on Halloween of 1589, and his body was burned at the stake. His mistress and daughter were burned too.
What did they do? That's what I wanna know.
I
Like,
guess he loaned them the wolf belt to party with friends on the weekends or something, kinda like borrowing the family car.
so it's like, "Dad, can I take the belt out tonight?"
Oh god, that hurt. Why did that hurt me? That hurt my side. Okay, so somebody I wanted to bring up was Michael Verdun. It's one of the earliest instances recorded of anyone being accused of being a werewolf, and it happened in 1521. A supposed wolf attack led authorities to the home of Michael Verdun, who, after being arrested and tortured, confessed to being a werewolf. Yeah, of course you're gonna confess to anything after some torture.
I mean, medieval torture is rough.
Was that medieval times, 1521?
Yeah, that's like yeah, that's medieval for sure. That's very close to like the Tudor age. Then they did some real messed up things then. I
Okay.
almost said an F-bomb. I almost shook your F-bomb quota.
Well, you can say one F word, can't
No,
you?
one per podcast. We're trying to monetize, Devin.
Okay. He also pointed to 2 other men, Pierre Bargot and Philibert Montaut. Michael Verdun was caught when he attacked a traveler and was wounded. His potential victim followed him through the woods, tracking a trail of blood to a home. So, Michael, as a wolf, attacked this guy and he tracked the blood to his home. And inside, he found Michael's wife tending to the injury.
Oh. So she was like patching him up.
He was a wolf a second ago, but now he's a human and he's being patched up. And that's a common theme I see in these stories where a lot of times somebody will get harmed in their wolf form and then they'll find them like around in the area as a human and they have the same wounds that they inflicted the wolf.
I mean, that's really inconvenient.
I know I
This is
thought
how you
werewolves would heal.
I mean, yeah, the Vampire Diaries, they, like almost immediately. So, that sucks.
So he told authorities of a deal made with 3 men dressed in black who agreed to protect his sheep in exchange for the rejection of his belief in God. He was given an ointment that allowed them to shapeshift into wolves, during which time they would stalk the land, killing and eating children. Of course, he was found guilty and he was burnt at the stake. Now, I noticed that, in all my research, I mean, I don't think, I cite a lot of them here because 'cause we're pressed for time, but, a lot of these men confess to getting some ointment and rubbing some ointment on themselves to turn into the wolves, and I feel like there was just one guy in France that was obsessed with ointments, interrogating these guys, and just one after the other, he was like, "Tell me about the ointment and the black men that gave you the ointment." "What ointment?" "You know what ointment."
Oh my god. S Just imagine being the interrogator saying that, "Tell me about the ointment." And the guy's like, "Bro, it's Nivea, just calm down."
Yeah.
Honestly, if it were today, like, happening right now, if all this was happening right now, you know for sure someone would be selling that ointment on Etsy, and they would have it labeled as, like, vegan transformation oil.
Oh my god. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about the werewolf accusations. So, I think there were so many werewolf accusations during this time because there were a shit ton of wolves just left to do wolf things. No one was hunting them because of the mini ice age and the 30-year war. Plus, this was before we kept them as pets. Speaking of which, I am super excited because I'm getting a puppy soon. He's still on his mother's tit, but once he's weaned, he will be joining our little family. I'm gonna dress him in punk rock vest and sweaters and play frisbee with him.
You're not gonna play Frisbee, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
I'll play
Are you gonna?
frisbee. Yeah, I'll play frisbee. I've always wanted a dog I could play frisbee with.
Okay, okay. So we're really excited. He's very, very cute. He's a mutt. We don't know how big he's gonna be, so that's a little disarming. We will reveal the name once we get him. We're not gonna do that now. Leave it as a surprise.
We've been through like 10 different
We
names.
cannot agree, and then we kind of agree, and then we're like, oh, but that doesn't fit the vibe. So as you all know, the true master of this house is the manager, um,
Caligula.
Caligula. He's in charge.
He needs to like the puppy.
He has to like the puppy, so that's also
He's just
alarming.
staring at the wall right now. That's all he's
No,
doing.
he's staring at your dad's room because he thinks he's gonna feed him. That's what it is. He thinks he's gonna get a little treat. Um, like he's starving. There's literally food in his bowl, by the way, but there's just the barest hint at the bottom, and so, of course, it's empty. But he's really in charge.
He gets that dopamine when that door opens.
He
He
does,
does.
like, instantly, like, literally like a gambling addict when they hit the slot machine and all
Or
of a
when I
sudden.
go on a shopping spree on Amazon.
Yeah, definitely, just like his dad.
Okay, so here is a weird werewolf trial that I want to share. The story's crazy, like a fever dream. So this guy, Volker Dirks from the Netherlands, and his 5 children were all arrested. Hessel, Dirk's 14-year-old son, confessed to the family about having made a pact and dancing with the devil. According to Hessel's testimony, the devil once flew in through the chimney with a red cat. Suddenly, the cat turned into a woman and started dancing with everyone. This continued for some time until the devil said, "You terrible animal, I order you to follow me." The devil tied a leather belt around the woman and she turned into a wolf. Then the devil, the Catwoman wolf thing, and Hessel flew through the chimney to a field. There, the devil and Hessel also turned into a wolf, and together they attacked and ate animals.
I mean, okay, so here's what I'm gonna say though. Out of all the werewolf stories you told so far about people turning into wolves and eating people, so far Hessel, chill dude. He's not killing anyone. He's turning into a wolf after having a great freaking time, a nice rave, a
They're
little
just
dance
dancing.
party, and then they go and they eat other animals like wolves are supposed to do. Like, what is the problem other than the devil? I mean,
I mean,
it sounds like a good time, like a great Friday night.
so I was thinking that it kind of sounds like this kid was just confessing his dreams or his nightmares,
Oh, yeah.
and they just took it seriously. Like when a woman blames you for a dream where you cheat on her.
I mean, it's always your fault. If I dream that you did something wrong,
I better
you
apologize
need to
to you
apologize
when
immediately.
we wake up.
Immediately, because it's your
Okay.
fault.
Okay. Well, Volker Dirk said he had been given a doublet 3 years earlier that made him feel like doing evil and gave him the ability to transform into a wolf.
Can I ask a question?
What?
Serious question. What is a doublet?
A doublet's like a coin.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think.
Or
I was
okay, wait,
100%
wait,
before you
wait. Hold,
asked.
please. Google. We're gonna Google. This is a Google break. If we have some catchy music, we might play it here. I
Do
don't know. We'll figure it out. Devin, can you do elevator music, please? Or while I
do
look
do
this up.
do 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 do
No, it's not a coin.
What is it?
A doublet is a snug fitting jacket that is shaped and fitted to a man's
Oh
body.
my
You
god.
love doublets.
I do. Oh my
You
god.
are into a doublet. So could you imagine getting a
You
magical
gotta
doublet
post
that
what a
made you
doublet
I
is,
will. I'll
cause
put it
I
on the
want a
Facebook.
doublet. That's a magic doublet,
On the
dude.
Facebook. So could you imagine like, yeah, I got a doublet a few years ago from a lady and it made me want to do bad things.
Dude,
This
if
dude's a freak.
yeah, if the devil gave me a doublet, I would be very happy. I would take that in a second.
No.
No wonder these people got killed. Like, I would
You would
be
take
on
that
it.
magic doublet and you would go to
I
that
would
rave with the red
strut.
cat and the
Yeah,
wolf lady.
I would strut. So, it gave him the ability to turn into a wolf. Several times he ran through the fields with his children to bite the cattle. Dirk's daughter, 17-year-old Hendrika, said that she began consorting with the devil at just 11 years old, sleeping with him on multiple occasions over a period of years. She said her father had her walk through the fields as a werewolf and participate in several dance events. Dirks, Hendrika, and 2 others accused by her, that little snitch, were burned at the stake. Now, the 4 sons were all spared, which is some shit. See, because Hessel was mixed up in some crazy shit like dancing with catwolf ladies, and you know that's a slippery slope when you dance with catwolf ladies, and it's not long before you're diddling the devil in the woods. Now, you were saying Hessel is just being a chill bro dancing and having fun, and I guess the villagers they probably thought the same thing, like, Hessel's just a chill bro with the wolf ladies.
I guess, but at the same time, like, first of all, the real crime is that they named their daughter Hendrika, like, that is of the devil right there,
They
what a
were
name.
expecting a Henry.
Clearly, he had some unresolved, just, you know, resentment there, but my point is that, Hendrika, she's the victim, like, 11 years old, she has to sleep with Satan, and her dad's making her go run through fields as wolves and participate in dance parties that doesn't sound like she wanted to do, so I'm kinda getting the vibe that old Folkirk was a creep, like,
Yeah.
creep.
No, he sounds like a creep. Okay, so I've got a few more. We got a lot here. I got a lot here. I did a lot of research for you guys. You guys should love me. Love me. Please love me. Oh my God. Giles Garner. Okay. Werewolf of Dole or Hermit of Saint Bonnet. In 1574, he was convicted of being a werewolf, a serial killer, a cannibal, and a hermit. Apparently, it is illegal to be a hermit back then. He murdered 4 children.
Oh.
So he got married and had children, but was not used to feeding anyone but himself. So this caused some problems. Around this time, some children went missing or were found dead. The French authorities encouraged the people to capture and kill the murderer responsible. Most violent crimes at this time were attributed to werewolves. One evening, some workers thought they saw a wolf that looked like Garner, which I don't get how a wolf looks like Garner and is a wolf at the same time. But he was carrying the body of a dead child. He was arrested, and after some torture, of course, they got a torture for the confession. They got the confession out of him. According to Giles, one night he was hunting for food and a specter approached him offering him an ointment.
Where's the
There's
ointments?
another guy. There's the same guy interrogating this one with the ointment. I bet this was like not too far from the same village. Just traveling around looking for the ointment. Um, an ointment that would allow him to change into a wolf so he could hunt easier. He admitted to killing at least 4 children. On August 24th, he attacked a 12-year-old boy that was torn open. The second murder was October. Garner abducted a girl by dragging her into a vineyard. He strangled her, removed her clothes, and ate the flesh from her thighs and arms in a forest nearby. Finally, he removed some flesh and took it home to his wife to cook. 2 weeks later, he killed a 10-year-old boy, eating him and saving a leg to eat later. He was sentenced to death and was burned at the stake.
I mean, okay, so first of all, could you imagine being his wife and being like, "Oh, honey, you finally brought home some delicious steak for dinner," and then all of this comes out in the wash and you found out that you just ate some poor girl's thighs like that? That's disturbing, but honestly, like, out of all the stories that you have told so far, this is the one where I'm like, "No, you know what? I think they got it right." Like, I get being under duress because 'cause you're being tortured, right, and admitting to some stuff, but, like, this is very specific to, like, admit these things, these very specific things under torture. Why would you add on to it? Why wouldn't you just be like, "Yeah, I'm a werewolf and I killed him." No,
Wait,
this
but
guy definitely if he was not a werewolf in the least, he was definitely a serial killer, and he murdered some poor babies.
Wait, but does the wife have really any plausible deniability if he shows up with a leg for her to serve for dinner? Like, I mean, it's a human leg,
Well, that you didn't say that he took the leg home to the wife to cook. You said he removed some flesh and took it home for the wife to cook.
but then it said that he saved a leg for
That doesn't
later.
mean he shared.
I
He
guess
could
not.
be a greedy fat I almost said it, like, he could not he could have been just saving that for himself.
But what if you asked me to stop by McDonald's and I show up with a human leg? Like, you would not be happy.
No, not at all. I would be, just completely unsatisfied. But
Here's
yeah,
an
they got it right this time. I'm just saying it's way too specific.
here's another story I like a lot. The Georgia werewolf. The widowed Mildred Burt lived in a rural part of the country in the mid 19th century. One of her daughters, Emily Isabella Burt, had trouble sleeping at night, and she had extra hair and sharp teeth growing.
So this is what's wrong with you. We finally figured it out. Devin's a werewolf.
I am a werewolf. The hair and the sharp teeth, and I like to bite. Yeah, yeah, I like to bite. Um, so one of her daughters, Emily, had trouble sleeping at night, and she started growing extra hair and sharp teeth. The growing hair and sharp teeth began after Emily returned from boarding school in Europe. All this shit happens from Europe. So around the same time, livestock in the area were being found slaughtered, and a town elder claimed a werewolf was responsible. Locals were advised by a village elder to melt down silver into large caliber bullets under a full moon, and with the bullets, they shot the creature in a field. They then saw it howl and then flee. That same night, Emily's mother found her unconscious with a gunshot wound. Now, Emily was sent to Europe who to a doctor in Europe who specialized in mental illness and lycanthropy. She returned to Talbot County and became a successful businesswoman. So this was the 1900s. I guess they stopped burning werewolves. Um, I mean, no, this was the 19th
So
century.
this would have been the 1800s.
Yeah,
But
the
I feel
1800s.
like burning at the stake was greatly looked down upon by then. I don't think we did that anymore.
I guess not.
But
She became
hey,
a successful businesswoman.
girl boss, yeah, we love that. I'm glad that it worked out for her. This is like the only happy ending that I've heard of all the ones that you've talked about. Like she actually made it.
Yeah,
Like
she
made
made it.
it and then like did it,
Yeah.
you know?
Do it, lady.
Do it, lady. Do you guys like Chet? We love Chet.
Okay, so next thing I wanted to cover was the Rougarou. So the legend of the Rougarou or Loop Guru.
I just gotta say, like, that's such a fun word.
It is Rougarou
Rougarou.
or Loop Guru.
Lougarou, but
Loop
I
Guru.
like Rougarou better.
I like Loop Guru better. I'm team Loop Guru. Post in your comments if you're team Rougarou or team Loop Guru, because I'm on team Loop Guru. Okay, so the legend of the Rougarou was brought to Louisiana by Arcadian French settlers.
Wait, can you say what did you just
Louisiana.
Louisiana?
I said Louisiana.
You did not. We're gonna roll that
Louisiana.
back.
I'm F
Uh-oh.
you. F you. Louisiana by Arcadian French settlers adapting the medieval French werewolf tales to the local landscape. The Rougarou is described as having a human like body, but with the head of a wolf or dog, sharp teeth, claws, and glowing red eyes. It is said to haunt swamps and sugarcane fields of South Louisiana, and they come out at night. A person can become a Rougarou through the curse from a witch or voodoo priestess, by practicing black magic, or by breaking Lenten rules 7 years in a row.
Okay, so you're telling me if I eat steak on any day other than well, I guess Friday is Lent rolls Friday. I'm not sure. I was
I
a really bad
wasn't.
Catholic. My point is I'm gonna turn into a Rougarou?
Mm. Some versions say that the curse lasts for 101 days, after which the creature returns to human form.
Okay, so this sounds more in line with our traditional werewolf stories.
Yeah. The curse is then transferred to another person when Rougarou bites or draws blood from them. Now, placing 13 small objects by the door can deter a rougarou, as it is said to be unable to count past 12 and will be preoccupied until sunrise.
I mean, but that's really insulting though. So I'm sorry. You can't come in until you count all these things. But the joke's on you. There's 13 and you only know how to count to 12.
That's what I'm thinking, you know, if rougarous exist. Another protection method involves hanging a colander or strainer outside the house. Like, I guess the werewolf can't fit through the holes of the strainer or something? I made that up. I have no idea why a colander works. But some legends suggest throwing salt on a rougarou will cause it to burst into flames. And another variation states that carrying rolled up leaves in your pocket can prevent the rougarou from changing you.
Who tested that theory? That's what I want to know.
I do too. I want to know. I want to know how people found out a lot of things, like that you can milk things.
It sounds like stuff my mom makes up, you know, when she's talking to us and she's trying to convince us that she knows what she's talking about. She just starts making up random shit.
Yeah.
Hi, mom. Shout out. Shout out to Linda. We love Linda.
Oh, let me take a moment to honor our followers that share with their friends. Cheyenne.
Cheyenne.
Cheyenne, what's her last name? Horn Horn what?
Hotchdale.
Hotchdale? I thought it
Hotchdale.
was Horndale or
No.
something.
No, it's
Cheyenne
Hotchdale.
Hotchdale, she invited her friends, and there was somebody else, Danina Ashby.
Yes,
She
Danina.
shared.
We love her.
We love her so much.
Nathan.
Nathan, yes. Nathan Smith.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Nathan, for sharing with us, sharing us with people.
We actually have more people who did share. So we will continue to shout them out
They just didn't comment
that they
under the
shared.
posts.
So
Yeah,
we're trying to have to
we're
like
trying to
reverse
figure it out.
engineer it.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of you that shared. So we're really grateful. So if we do miss you, we're sorry. But we have a lot eventually in store for the podcast, and other things that we want to do. And we're definitely going to make sure that you guys get a little treat for being so nice to us.
Okay, so here's the main event. Finally, to the Beast of Gévaudan. The Beast of Gévaudan was a wolf like humanoid beast. Now, this thing ravaged the former province of Gévaudan in the Margerie Mountains of south central France from 1764 to 1767. Took 3 years to kill this beast.
That's a while.
So France used a shit ton of money and manpower to hunt the creature, including several nobles, soldiers, royal huntsmen, and civilians. What's crazy is it took them 3 years to finally kill this thing. People would kill a wolf and say it was the beast, but then the killings would continue and they'd be like, that wasn't it.
So how did they know it was the same beast though? If werewolves were so prevalent in France, clearly, like it's a problem. There's a whole guy spieling about the ointments everywhere we go. How did they know that the Beast of Gévaudan was the same wolf?
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to
I'll
that
be quiet then.
because there's some stuff.
Okay.
I got some stuff. Um, the thing was as big as a damn cow, could almost fly at victims, and it would rip at throats as its method of killing. It didn't even seem like this thing was just hungry. It just liked killing. They said it repelled bullets and bayonets, came back from the dead, and even walked on its hind legs like a human. The thing killed 113 people, and 98 of them were partially eaten. Sometime during the murder spree, 8 children were attacked by this thing but fought the beast off. So, whatever King Louis was around at the time awarded the brave one, Jacques, money and education. So, this is the story of Jacques Portefeuille, which is covered in a Mr. Ballin episode. but we're doing the whole beast.
Shout out Mr. Ballin. We
Love
love
Mr.
Mr.
Ballin.
Ballin.
Jacques Portefeuille and 7 other children from the village of Valerie were attacked. Each child was armed with a stick that had a 4-inch sharp iron blade. The beast surprised them as they only saw it when it got close. They took defensive positions immediately. The beast got around them 2 or 3 times and finally thrust it upon one of the smaller boys. The 3 older boys swooped down on it and stabbed it several times but could not pierce its skin. They made it lose its grip and stumble back a couple of feet. It had ripped off a piece of one of the boys' cheeks and began eating it in front of them. It re-attacked the children with new fury. It grabbed the smallest of them by the arm and took him into its mouth. One of the older boys shit himself with fear and proposed that they should all run while it feasts on the child it already took. See, that's exactly what I would do. You don't need to outrun the beast, you just need to outrun your friends or a little child. I would just push a little child down and run if I was encountering the Beast of Gévaudan.
That reminds me of that time you took me to 7th Street Haunt and the guy came out with the chainsaw and you just threw me in front of him.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, just
Okay,
threw
so,
me.
but Jacques Portefeuille shouted that they had to either free their friend or die along with them. They chased the beast into the swamp and the beast began to sink into it, slowing down its run. They beat his head and his eyes with their sticks, and the whole time the beast had the small child under its feet, but was unable to bite him. They did not stop shouting and harassing the beast until he finally dropped the boy. Then the beast eventually stood up on its hind legs and ran into a stream 1 mile away.
Here's what I love about this story. It took them 3 years, many lords and nobles and soldiers and strong men, and this thing got owned by 8 kids with sticks.
Yeah,
8 kids with sticks, like,
that's
that is
why
some shit.
King Louis gave him $300. I mean, 300
Loaves, loaves, loose, whatever.
yeah, and 350 to his companions, and he gave them state-sponsored education for free.
Which is fantastic, we love that. I'm just saying though, like, 8 kids. You know what this kinda sounds like though, and I wonder, like, it kinda sounds like It.
Yeah, it
I
does.
wonder if Stephen King was inspired by The Beast of Gévaudan. I don't know, that's speculation, hearsay.
I doubt it.
Probably not, but it does mirror that.
It
Pretty
does.
crazy.
So, I do have a special treat. I have the letter that Jacques wrote King Louis after, a few years of education.
Ooh.
So, he learned how to read and write and the art of reflection, um, for free due to the king, and then he wrote a letter talking shit to the king. So, I'm gonna read part of this letter. I was only 10 years old when my friends and I were attacked in the Cassière by the beast near our village La Vallerie in Gévaudan. During this event, I demonstrated bravery that you were so kind to acknowledge and reward. Thanks to your generosity, I learned how to read and write at the Brothers of Doctrines of Montpellier. I also learned the art of reflection. He goes on to say he's familiar with wolves and has helped kill them before. And the beast, I watched her from very close when she attacked us in the prairie. Black hairs, dirty and hiding her face, long ragged nails ending her hands like claws, chest thrust forward like somebody suffering from a strained back. A beast who was a man who was not a man any longer, with the appearance of a beast without really being a beast, like in the fairy tale Beauty and the Beast. During the attack, the beast was standing on her hind limbs, using her arms and with her claws trying to grab one of us, which she did. When the beast understood that our bayonets were really dangerous to her flanks, she abandoned the young Jean Verrier. I watched her run on her two hind legs, which were human legs. She rolled herself over in the spring nearby as if trying to drown the meanness that she was full of. Forgive my audacity, my lord, but I have to tell you the ones who said that the beast was a wolf lied to you. I, who saw the beast from close, have to tell you the truth. The beast was not a wolf, nor a bear, nor a hyena, nor any other animal. The beast was a cursed man inclined to commit crimes, probably possessed by the devil himself. He is paid today for his odious faults. Majesty, you have to know your little people from Marguerite are very unhappy, and in great soil, icy winters, summers of ashes, much too heavy taxes, your subjects hurt a lot. Are we doomed forever to this despondency? So the letter goes on to complain about their poverty and how it's King Louis's fault. And but the whole point is werewolves, so we're not gonna get into that.
And then they cut all of their heads off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that I think that's what happened,
yeah.
isn't it? What year
L
did that
Les
happen?
Miserables. It was in the 1700s. It was right after it was probably like 10 to 15 years after the American Revolution. I don't know the exact year, but it was in the 1700s, so
Okay, so I'm not done with the Beast of Gévaudan, not yet. There's another hero during the Beast of Gévaudan.
a heroine, perhaps?
Oh, heroine. Yes, I love heroine. Heroines. I love heroines. So, the Maid of Gévaudan. In August 1765, Mary Jean Vallée was walking on a footbridge with her sister when the beast leapt out. Armed with a spear, Mary squared up to the beast and, after an epic battle with the monster, finally lunged the spear into the beast's chest and sent it away injured. The beast dropped into the river, then disappeared into the woods. There is a statue of Mary in Avers. The Maid of Gévaudan was about 20 years old. She didn't get money, she didn't get school, but let's wait till she's long dead and make a pretty statue for her. So the beast was finally the beast's death or killing was finally credited to somebody by the name of John Chastil, and it was said that he melted down his Mary's St. Mary's medals
Oh.
of silver into large caliber bullets, and he said some prayers, and then he shot the beast and killed it. Now that's what legend says, but, by the time the remains got to a Dr. Bollinger for autopsy, the body was incomplete, so they could not confidently identify the creature and just dismissed it as a large wolf.
How convenient.
How
After all this time, all these people, all these resources, and you're like, we really can't tell what it is, so we're just gonna say it's a wolf. We're gonna go with what the ointment guy said
Yeah,
because he's the
it
expert.
right. It's just a wolf, might as well call it a day. You know, I'm hungry and wanna get lunch, plus I'm trying to get to the old brothel, so let's call it a wolf and bury the thing because it smells completely rancid.
Could you imagine the smell?
Yeah.
The smelly
So
smell?
that is the Beast of Gévaudan as I researched and found.
So many unexpected heroes. The kids, epic.
Yeah, those are the best stories from the whole saga of 3 years.
That's a long time to accredit all that death and destruction to one entity.
I didn't even count how many wolves they killed and thought it was the Beast of Gévaudan, but it's at least 20 different wolves they killed.
Did I ever tell you about when I was a kid and my dad tried to convince me he was a werewolf?
No, but please tell us.
So I was like 7 years old.
Really?
Yeah. And so basically, he was sick of me coming out of my room every night.
I bet.
I liked to sleep with my parents. I did not like to sleep by myself. So he told me, he said, "You cannot get out of bed anymore because I am a werewolf. And if you get out of bed while I'm in transition, I might accidentally eat you."
Did you all have a kennel?
We did not have a kennel. We probably should. It would have helped. But nevertheless, I didn't believe him. At first, I said, "There is no such thing as werewolves. You're not a werewolf." And he said, "I have proof." And so he shows me his hands. And my dad, if anyone knows my dad, he has really hairy knuckles, like dark, black, coarse, hairy knuckles.
I never looked at his knuckles.
Well, why would you, right?
Right.
So, after a little bit more talking and convincing, he said, "This is why my hair on my knuckles is so dark and thick, and that's why I'm tired and take so many naps because I'm up all night."
I just wish he was housebroken.
So I went to bed that night and, I kinda believed him, and then my dad, he has a really up sense of humor, that's kinda where I get it from. He howled. He made howling noises from the living room, so yeah, so I really believed that he was a werewolf, and so I mean
Was that just him, like, his normal noises, or was he trying to fool you into
No, he was trying to trick me
Okay.
into believing him, but, I guess it worked. I didn't get out of bed anymore, and I did believe he was a werewolf for, like, a really long time.
He did snore pretty loud when he
He
took naps in the living room.
he yeah, no, he definitely did snore really loud, so I guess that kinda helped. Shout out Sean for traumatizing me one lie at a time.
That's hilarious. Your dad's pretty funny.
You guys are gonna hear a lot of Sean stories, I'm just gonna let you know. He's a character, and he is why.
Yeah, I love that guy so much. That's it for tonight's episode, but remember, the strange stories never really end. We'll be back next week with another tale that'll keep you guessing what's out there. Until then, stay curious and maybe keep the light on.
Thanks for listening to Paranomenon. If you like this episode, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube, and help us grow by sharing it with a friend who also enjoys the things that go bump in the night. See you soon.